Did you know that Merida is considered one of the most expensive cities in all of Mexico? This has been our home for 3 months, and today we're going to break down how much it actually costs to live here in 2025. We're going to share what we spend each month on rent, food, entertainment, and basically everything else. And we'll even compare these costs to other cities we've lived in so far in Mexico, so we can find out together if Merida is as expensive as they say it is. So we're gonna get started with how much we spend on groceries, and I have to apologize for this distraction. We really wanted to film on a bench, but we couldn't find any quiet pictures, so...
This is our new friend. It's all good.
Just love him. He's kind of cute.
Now let's talk about our more regular food expenses. So our situation is a little bit unique in that we get most of our meals actually delivered to our home with a meal delivery service. So
yes.
Shout out to Gamma Bites. They deliver our food at least 5 times a week for our dinners and sometimes lunches as well.
Yeah.
We use 2 services. Gamma Bites is objectively better and a little bit more expensive. The other one typically has bigger portions, and that's why I order it, because I judge food by size because I get hungry. I think the average for what we pay per meal is like $8.
$8, yeah. So they deliver it in bulk. So first part on Mondays and the second part on Wednesdays, and then you have all your foods ready to go for the week. And the other service delivers daily, but it's very convenient. They are always like super reliable. You pay by transfer or cash, and it's really awesome. So that has made our like food expenses every month a little bit more expensive than before. So keep that in mind when we compare it to the monthly cost to other cities, because right now we have spent $496 on delivery services over the past 3 months per month. Yeah. So it's kind of a lot, because then on top of that we also shop for groceries because we prepare our breakfast, and also we cook during the weekends, and coffee and like all those things. So chips, beers.
Essentials.
So that's about $300 a month. So that brings the total of food, I mean just groceries, this doesn't count eating out, 796. So that's a lot. I also want to say that this guy here eats about 6,000 calories a day. I also eat a lot, not like that, but I eat a lot. So we always get comments in our videos. It's like, oh my gosh, you guys spend so much on groceries. That's crazy. That's like the US. And it's like in the US, we spend like 1,500, 1,600. It's a lot.
I'm expensive.
Yeah.
Might not look like I eat a lot, but
he eats so much. So just keep that in mind. This is going to be a lot cheaper for most people. And on top of that, he eats a lot, and I cook a lot when I can. And I always like to cook for like international recipes and stuff with a lot of ingredients. So that adds up, because all those international products are expensive here in Mexico. So this can be a lot cheaper is like our summary, but it depends on your eating habits and like what you like to cook.
And one other thing to note, so we don't have a car, but the nice thing here in Merida is that a lot of the grocery stores do have a delivery service. So if you order something or an order above about $50, and they do have the free delivery. Also the Super Aquí, which is the grocery store that's closest to us, is pretty conveniently located. So if we have an emergency, we can just walk there. It's not a big deal, but the delivery service is awesome. So how do these costs compare to other places in Mexico?
So in Querétaro, we spend $741 per month. This was shopping at H-E-B, which is kind of like a fancy grocery store.
It's a nice store,
Yeah. And then in Guanajuato, we spend $574 a month. This has been like the cheapest, but I do want to add that they didn't have availability of a lot of international products. So we just kept it super basic with like always cooking the same things. So that's another way that your grocery costs like can be a lot lower. And most recently in Cuernavaca, we spent $694.
Guys, if you are new to this channel, my name is Gordon, and this is my wife, Aimarita. That's her name. And welcome to our channel. We are teaching people how to, what's so funny? We're teaching people how to move to Mexico and thrive here once they do move here. So we are now living in Merida. We became residents 2 months ago, and we are happily living in this wonderful city. However, we are not living here forever. It's a 6 month stint, and then we're taking off for other corners of the country.
We travel the world for like over 3 years, and we are not ready to settle down, but we are so excited for this new stage of our life, because we're going to be exploring so many places in Mexico and share with you guys the pros and the cons of each. So hopefully with the goal to help you decide which one is the perfect place for you. So we're sharing videos every week, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Now it's time to eat, and then we'll tell you how much we spent on eating out, because we were kind of shocked by this one. Before we continue, we have a little bit of a live update to share with you guys. There's no other way to say this, but we have to leave Mexico. We have to go back to the US to figure out some immigration stuff. And the worst part of all of this is that we have no idea how long it's going to take, and we have no idea when we're going to be able to come back to Mexico. We will do our best. We hope that everything's going to be fine in the end. But yeah, anyways, that's what's happening behind the scenes around here. Even though this all was sudden, like for us, it's so easy to just leave because we don't have a long-term rental. And we also literally moved to Mexico with these 2 suitcases. Yeah, that is crazy. All we have with us is 2 carry-ons. They are from a brand called Level 8, and let me tell you a little bit about them because they are the sponsor of today's video. We have been traveling with these beautiful suitcases for over a year now. They have seen many airports, trains, trunks, sketchy sidewalks. They really have seen it all. And one of our favorite parts of these suitcases is that they glide so easily. They're really so easy to maneuver no matter where you are. And also this is kind of like a bonus, but every time that we're boarding a flight, this baby always gets me compliments from the flight attendants, which it feels kind of nice. And Level 8 suitcases have all the features that you could possibly want in a suitcase, so definitely check them out. We're gonna leave a link in the description and the first pinned comments, and I'm also gonna have a QR code right here that you can scan with your phone, and definitely check them out. They are gorgeous. They have all kinds of designs and sizes, and also we have a promo code for you. It's Ways of the World. I'll put it right here. You can use it and get 10% off, and please don't forget to use the code because that really supports our channel. So yeah, we'll continue with the video. We'll keep you guys posted with all the immigration stuff. And yeah, you'll see on the channel a couple Merida videos and then Puerto Morelos, and then we'll see. Okay, continue with the video.
It's not always easy to find a quiet spot in Mexico. So right now we are at Loncheria Rani, which is a very casual style restaurant in the Santa Ana market. So for context, we go out to a place like this maybe once or twice per week, and it's always pretty affordable. We went somewhere similar to in the Santiago market, and that costs about $8. And I think this meal will cost us $8 as well. And it's a lot of food, and these are like Yucatecan specialties. I already ate the cochinita pibil, but this is relleno negro and pavo en escabeche. So very local dishes. If you guys don't know, Yucatecan food is phenomenal. It's actually my favorite Mexican cuisine.
Bold.
It's bold, but I'm saying it. I always say it. I love it. But back to my main point. So we went somewhere nicer for Valentine's Day. It was a more upscale, like chef-owned restaurant. And that one cost us like $110 with tip and like craft cocktails and everything. So far it doesn't feel like food here is like more expensive than other places in Mexico. Our total monthly expenses for eating out on average is $302. So pretty reasonable. I think in other cities, I'll tell you what we paid. In Querétaro, we paid $347. And we also had one Valentine's dinner where we spent a lot more money than here in Merida. So it can be more expensive in other cities. In Guanajuato, we spent $340. And there, I think we did go out more than usual because we found some like affordable restaurants and just went to them frequently. And then in Cuernavaca, we spent $145. We didn't really go out to eat much. So you now have that for context.
One thing that you should know about eating here in Mexico is that it can be as expensive or as cheap as you want it to be. The good thing about Merida is that it's a big city, so there's a lot of options. So you can have upscale food and you can have market food. The market food, it's always delicious. Like we've never really had a bad experience. So that's like a really cool thing. And so far here in Merida, we haven't looked at each other eating at a nice restaurant when the bill comes and just be like, that was expensive. That hasn't happened here, and it for sure has happened in other cities like Querétaro and Mexico City. So far, Merida is treating us well with the food.
Tamales.
Yes, with the spoon. My bite fell, but...
Welcome to our home. So as you guessed, our biggest expense each month is our housing, although it is pretty close to food. So we are living in a 2-bedroom, 1.5-bathroom townhouse in the Alta Vista neighborhood, so on the north side of Merida. We are super comfortable here, and it is a great spot. We booked it through Airbnb and then kind of negotiated through the host, through the platform to get a better deal for staying here for about 5.5 months. I think that's more or less about the time that we're staying.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them how much we're spending here in Merida?
Yes, so we negotiated to $1,000 a month, and it includes everything. So utility, all the utilities like internet, all that stuff. So we don't have to pay for anything, garbage collection, like all the stuff, like we don't have to worry about it. So it is a little bit higher than what you would pay, I think, if you go on your own, obviously, but everything is included, and it was just so convenient. It was like literally with a click, super hose, no contracts, no nothing, and that works really well for us. The only thing that we have to pay, well, we don't have to, but we decided to work with someone to help us clean the house. And it's the lady that used to work cleaning the Airbnb, or that works cleaning the Airbnb. And now she comes every other week, and she charges 500 pesos, which is about $25. And we love her. It's a huge help.
Her name is Lulu. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, we love her. Before we let you guys know how much we spent on rent in other places in Mexico, so you guys can compare the cost of living in different cities here, we want to let you know that we created something really cool. It's called the Move to Mexico Roadmap, and this is a free email series that is designed to make the whole residency process so much easier and stress-free for you. So if you're someone who's been confused and like reading all kinds of conflicting information online, then make sure to sign up to receive these emails, because the way it works is that you're gonna get just one weekly email telling you exactly what you need to focus on that week, and it covers the entire residency process from the beginning to the very end until you get your residency card in hand. Hopefully we can celebrate that moment with you via email or in person, who knows. Anyways, it's really cool. Check it out. It's linked in the description and in the first pinned comment. And now, back to the costs in other cities.
In Querétaro, we spent $885. And that was actually a pretty similar layout to this, like a 2-bedroom, 1.5, but this is way nicer.
It was way smaller, and yeah, this is
layout.
layout, but it was very small. Then in Guanajuato, we spent $792. It was an apartment, and it was very comfortable, but it was less nice. And I was freezing the whole time. And Cuernavaca, we spent $1,257, and it was a pretty baller loft with epic views.
Jungle views, just lush forest. It was beautiful.
Now that you have all those amounts together, we can't really say that in terms of accommodation, Merida feels more expensive than other places, because as we mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is known as one of the most expensive cities in Mexico, and so far it hasn't really felt that way, especially with accommodation and food, which are the biggest expenses that you'll have in a month.
So in addition to food and housing, we also have other expenses for living life. So the most regular one are our gym expenses. And when we walked into our gym, I was prepared to be absolutely shocked by the prices, because it is a little bit like upscale looking. And we once went to an upscale gym in Querétaro to see how much it would cost, and it was like $150 per person, and like sign-up fees and everything.
Yeah.
So that's what I was prepared for. But it turns out it was just $30 per person per month. So a really good deal.
Yeah, the only problem is that everyone thinks it's a good deal.
Yeah,
So
the whole city.
The whole city goes there, and we can only go like at 1:30 or 2 p.m. So that is the only downside, but it is $30. So can't complain, the gym is great. Compared to other gyms, Querétaro, we ended up paying $33 per person. It was a much smaller gym. And Guanajuato, we paid $12 per person. And it was kind of like a weird gym.
That was the strangest gym will ever go to in my life.
But it was really cheap, and we got to work out, so it's fine. And in Cuernavaca, there were no gyms because I had dental surgery, and we'll tell you how much that was later. So we didn't sign up, and it was also not close to us.
It was also not. So for entertainment, this is also an important part of lifestyle. So we recently went to the Yucatan Country Club, which sounds super posh, to see a tennis tournament. It was a WTA, so like women's ranked tennis tournament, and it was really cool. It was great to like see the true professionals playing here in Merida, and we paid $30 total for the tickets.
No, $30 per ticket.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then the beers were pretty cheap. The beers were like $7 or $8, so not too bad.
Yeah, we spent like $20 extra in food and drinks, so like the whole afternoon was about $80, and we had a great time. It was really fun. And then recently we also took a trip to Progreso, so because we don't have a car, we had to rent a car, and we ate there, and we rented beach chairs and like all that stuff. So that afternoon was, you need to tell that story.
No, I don't need to tell the story. I just want to clarify that Progreso is the nearest beach town.
Oh, okay. But now he's gonna tell you.
Oh yeah. When there's a lot of people selling the beach chairs, and like we first walked into the boardwalk, or not boardwalk, Malecon promenade area, and the people were selling them for like 200, and then this guy walks up to us and he's like 150. And before we were gonna take the price, but he negotiated for us. He's like 150 pesos, 100 pesos.
100 pesos.
And then
And we were like, well, okay.
the point is he negotiated for us, and we got a better deal.
Yeah, so that little, it was also an afternoon. It was about $80 as well, because we had to rent a car, get gas, lunch. The chairs were super cheap, but just so you have an idea of like how much like things cost. And also, if we compare it to other cities, we're gonna mention this, but this is a very unfair comparison because in Querétaro it was zero.
Yeah.
We were working a lot as usual, and our activities were mostly focused on like hanging around town and food and cantinas and that stuff. And then in Guanajuato, we did more things. One that we regret, we'll tell you in a second. It was about $99, including a visit to the Mummy Museum, which...
If you're in Guanajuato,
No.
skip it.
Yeah, just look at this. Because I
And I
edit.
feel there needs to be a disclaimer.
And then Cuernavaca was also zero because of my tooth surgery. It was like $1,400. So there were things to do in Cuernavaca and in the surrounding areas, but we were just like suffering. So we just tried to save some money and we didn't do anything. Now let's quickly touch on transportation. So we have mentioned we don't have a car. So we have to either walk or move around by Uber or Didi. There's also public transportation, but we just usually do Didi or Uber. And every month we have average $115 in transportation, which was kind of surprising because we do take it like, like maybe 4 or 5 Ubers a week, and they don't feel like they're expensive. They're not. Like going to the city, it's like, I don't know, like $7 or $8, and it's like a 20-30 minute ride. But it adds up. So just keep that in mind. And in other cities, we have not had many transportation expenses. So Guanajuato, it was only $3.50 because Guanajuato is very small and we did everything by foot. And in Cuernavaca, it was $41. And in Querétaro, it was $51.
Last up are miscellaneous expenses. So one of the important ones is laundry. So this place here does not have a washer or dryer, so we have to go 1 minute to the wash and fold.
Yeah.
Those expenses, I guess, kind of add up, but I don't
It's
know
not
what the total is.
significant.
I don't know how
I
much we
have
actually
all the
spent.
totals here. It's about $30 a month, which is not much. That includes also the sheets and the towels and everything. So it's not bad, and it has been consistently $30. So we feel confident about that. And in the other cities, the only one that we had to pay for laundry, and it was also like with sheets and towels, it was $41. And then we have little random things like haircuts. Here in Merida, I got a haircut. I don't know if anyone can tell.
Ooh la la!
It was $21, and the only other time that I've had a haircut here in Mexico was in Querétaro, and it was $27. So, and then we have water, drinking water, which is known as the infamous garrafon. That's also pretty consistent in every city. Like it costs the same. We spend about $30 a month. And then here we haven't had other expenses like dentist. Thankfully, no emergencies, but we also haven't had to do like our dental cleaning. That is included in the expenses in the other cities, so that's also kind of like something that we have to let you know. In the past, we have had travel insurance, which was about $90 total, I think, a month. And right now we don't have private health insurance, but we are in the process of getting it, so that we already have a quote.
Yeah, it's gonna add about $300 total for the month.
Yeah.
Per person not per person.
Total. Yes. Yeah. 150 per person. Yeah. So again, this is not a perfect comparison, but we just let you know everything about each place. And if you want more details, we obviously have like videos that you can watch. So we're gonna put all those amounts here on the screen, everything we talked about.
So as you can see, our life here in Merida is a little bit more expensive than in these other places.
Yeah.
Especially when you add on this new private health insurance. But it's good that we're responsible adults and getting private healthcare here.
Yeah.
If you want to see more about cost of living in different cities in Mexico, you can watch this video afterwards. And remember to sign up to the roadmap. It's in the description and the top pinned comment. You'll find the link there.
Yes.
And thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. Remember, if you have questions, we're always happy to help. So just leave them in the comments. See you in the next video. Ciao.
Gracias.